good afternoon, and good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents affect our daily lives. Today, we are about to do the review of Insecure, episode 7, entitled Chillin'. Okay, just a little quick housekeeping. Please make sure you watch my previous videos. Also, I just did a pop culture chat video, number 4. Please go check that out. It's about Mr. Jussie Smollett. Check it out. Give me your comments. I have not followed it. I have followed it up to the time I did the pop culture chat. I may do an addendum as things change, but just go in there and see what you think about that video. All right. So we're just going to do a recap. So as we open up the episode, Issa's getting ready for her girls. They're doing a girls' night in and out. She has a whole system and things like that planned for them, which is cute. We hadn't seen this in a while because, a couple of seasons they have been estranged. So we hadn't really seen them do a girls' night in, a girls' night out in a while. And you remember the other episode with Tiffany being pregnant, and then her postpartum kicked in. So this is well overdue. And you remember Molly and Issa were not in a good place, and then Kelly and Tiffany were not in a good place. So this has been a long time coming to see the girls, and this is probably the final girls' night in. Because, this is the series finale this season. I will tell you this, if we're just going to talk, because we're at episode 7. And I think we have 1 to 2 more episodes before the series ends. I don't know why I thought that they're just tying things up. There's nothing where we're going to go out with a bang. It looks like everything is like kind of tying things up. Everything is we're just basically seeing them move through their lives, which is interesting, because the other episodes, there was always this big ta-da or da-da at the end. But I think what we're seeing is that they're going through their lives and they're maturing. And they have matured to this level. So all the stuff that they did before, they've got too many life incidents. I was going to say life hacks, but that's not what they have. But they have too many life incidents where the stuff that they used to do, because I think they're in their mid-30s. So the things that were exciting in their late 20s, early 30s, now being in their mid-30s with a couple of them in the group, and I'm including Lawrence because he was in the group. A couple of them in the group are now parents. A couple of them in the group are well established in their careers, and I'm talking about Kelly and Molly. Issa is now put some... She's in her career. She's starting her career. She's starting the career that she feels comfortable with, that she feels like that's her purpose. And so she looks good in that too. So you're talking about women who have matured within that sense. Relationship wise, you see that Tiffany has matured in her relationship with her husband, and she loves and is thankful for her husband. And we'll talk about that a little bit when we talk about Tiffany. We see Kelly on a self-love journey. Her stop drinking, her realizing that she was the butt of the jokes, her understanding that, coming to having some healing. Wonderful to see. We see Molly also with a self-healing journey. We see her maturing. She's always been mature in her work life, but we see her maturing in her personal life. And what I mean by that is that she has realized that, again, she's done some self-work on herself, and she realizes that everything cannot fall out into a plan. And what I mean by that is her mom's plan, they curated their plan back when they were younger, and that's how that plan worked. But as we evolve in ourselves as individuals, as a society, excuse me, the way our parents planned in the 60s and 70s and in the 80s, that's not how people are planning in the 2000s and the 2010s and the 2020s. So that just, let's just be real about that. So we get to Issa's house, and she's got everything decked out. She has everything planned. They get there and they decide to do the old question in the hat game. So all of these questions come out, and which ex-boyfriend of the other person's would you like to date? And they brought up old Daniel. And Issa was like, what are you talking about? They was like, yeah, Daniel was fine. Everybody wanted to try to date Daniel, but you messed that up. Had all their little kikis and their jokes. Issa pulled something, and I don't know what it was, but it was like, she started, in that conversation, they started talking about what's going on in their lives, and Issa starts talking about Nathan, and Nathan is calling her inconsistent, and then everybody was like, no, Issa, you're inconsistent, wow. And so she's starting to realize that some of her actions and things that she did were considered to be inconsistent. One of the things I like to see with Issa and Molly's relationship is how much the tables have turned, where it used to be Molly was always coming to Issa's rescue, and Molly would give Issa advice, and then Issa would quasi take it. Now Issa has to be the person to give Molly advice, and she gives her a little advice about Torian and all of that. Getting back to Issa, because I just want to hit the girls, and I'm not going to go over everything. I just want to hit some of the highlights that I thought were interesting. Issa is now reconciled with the fact that she has inconsistent behavior. Immediately after she figures it out, she wants to call Nathan, and then Molly tells her, no, don't call him. See, this is what we're talking about. You're mad at him, and now you want to be all tight with him, and then you're going to get mad because he's not going to react the way that you want him to react, because you still had that other incident to go over. So she didn't. Let me see. Kelly, basically, she was the one that they were talking about, old Daniel, and she texted Daniel, and she's high. They're all high. They've been smoking. So she's like, oh my gosh, he texted me back. And they're like, girl, he ain't text you back. He's not going to text you back. So Kelly is fooling around with the notion of calling Daniel. Molly has talked about how her relationship with Torian has changed. She says it seems like they go to a certain limit and they don't go over it. They work together. She says she feels like they have come to some kind of, she doesn't know yet. And so they just told her to basically take it slow, but to test the waters to see what he's talking about. So Molly's probably going to do that. Molly's mom has woken up, and Molly has come to the awareness that, she's not going to really pretty much take too many things for granted. She's going to take that hit. So then we get to Tiffany. They're getting ready to go out. And Tiffany lays on them that her and Derek are going to be moving to Denver. Because they had all decided as a group that they're going to do this and they're going to continue to be friends and do this every year. But Tiffany, tells them that Derek has a job. He's got more family. They have more family out in Denver. I'm not really sure where Tiffany is from, but she said that Derek has a lot of family in Denver. And she said that the money, that he has a really good job, he got a promotion, and that the money will go much, much further out in Denver. Because, living in California now is uber expensive. It is so expensive that if you're someone who makes $30,000 or $40,000 a year, you're going to have a roommate. And I know that's like that in New York and other places. But from what I understand with California, what makes them unique is everything's so spread out. So you'd have to have a car. I'm not sure about how their public transportation works from one place to the other, but the traffic is horrendous. So you're talking about having a roommate, and you're talking about having to drive a couple of hours back and forth. So, you see people 4 hours a day spending their time getting back to and from work. And that's obscene. Obscene. Anyway. So we find out that Tiffany will be moving. So they were going to go out, but they decide to stay in. Let's see. It flips over to Condola and Lawrence. So she's fine. They've come to a good place because I guess with him moving back, she's allowing for him to take the baby off as needed. He comes back. She has some shelves or something that she needs to have fixed. He volunteers to fix the shelves, and he does. They talk, and she, lets him know that she believes that he's a good father. And he was like, thank you. I really needed to hear that. So they seem like they're in a good place. So pretty much that is the episode. With, little thing, there was no big, situation or anything that happened, but go watch it, see what you all thought about it. We're getting close to the end. And, like I said, it seems like they're just following these people through their normal lives. Nothing's big and major seems like it's going to happen. They haven't clued us in as something big or major is cluing in and happening. Overall, it's just, it's in comparison to all the other episodes, the 7 episodes, it was just, so we'll see. Tell me what you think down below. I'm Pamela. This is Pam Entertainment TV. Please like, subscribe. Oh, and hit the notification bell so you will be notified when I drop a new video. Okay. All right. And as we always say at the end, bye-bye.